So I spent the last 3 months from November to January making a video game. My game is a top-down action style game where you do spell casting by doing fighting game inputs such as motion inputs like the fireball or the 360 Zangief throw, and this is done in Unreal and the coding is done through Blueprints. This game took a while to make. For the first month of November, I basically spent trying to figure out how to even do the game mechanics, or even if it can be done at all. I managed to get it done, but unfortunately, I can't do the actual motion inputs where you do a half a quarter circle on the controller D-pad. And the way I did it now is in Mortal Kombat style, where it's pressing down, then forward quickly, and the input window is made quite small. Although I managed to somehow get Guile's style charge inputs where you have to hold back and forward. Although the input seems to be very iffy because sometimes I can do it so quickly that it just registers it so fast. And sometimes if you do it manually, it doesn't come out as fast. So still need to look into that. But overall, that's what's been done in 1 month, trying to wrap around the idea of how to make a game mechanic work, which took a lot of research to try and get done. In month two in December, I started adding and refining the game mechanics and adding systems. I'd also started actually getting people to playtest my game more and getting them to get an idea of how they feel about it. Is it cool? Is it fun? This was done also in November, but it's done more in December. I've also started slowly adding more characters into the prototype and actually thinking about it long term and seeing if the game is actually fun or adding more things that I think would be kind of cool. In month three, in January, I started to um, play my own game a bit more, and unfortunately, I didn't get as much game testing as I did the last 2 months, but it got enough where people still have some feedback. Mostly, I reduced the actual input of the controls since they were literally one frame, so you had to literally start like playing it like a piano just to do the input. I did try it at a controller support, but Unreal doesn't really have it for PlayStation 4. I would have to get an Xbox controller. Overall, I've started fixing a bunch of issues and looking into other things I could add and started planning for what I would want the game to look as a prototype. I've also started to replace the store, download, and assets, free assets I've used throughout the whole entire development. Started using my own characters, although some of them haven't really have any design, so that process seems to be taking a bit long due to the fact that I'm not really good at character modeling when it comes to real people. If this was a monster or anything, that could be done, but these are realish looking people. One of which is a very tall, muscular woman. The other one is a slightly slender woman. And the third character is an old man, which fortunately for me, two of the characters have already been done because I've reusing a lot of my old assets I made through other projects, and a lot of the environment assets I made through using old assets as well. So yeah, or hopeful. My hope is by the end of the year I would at least have a level layout done, spawning, respawning systems, enemies that completely work and don't kinda visually see the player, um, replacing the enemy AI with actual like the actual my own enemies and making a boss fight. And this whole entire design by the end of the year would be used as not only a prototype, but also a finished design I would probably use as a demo because that is the plan. And also to add more moves for the characters because the characters don't all have a lot of moves. Some have one move, and others have three moves, and I need to make them more distinct as people since the only difference some of them have is just one does more damage than the other, and I need to make them more unique in other sense. So yeah, that is the plan for the, until 2027 is to more uh, make the game prototype ready overall. On another side note, the game has had issues such as me having lack of knowledge and skill in some areas due to not really understanding Unreal as well as I do, and also and not being able to find a lot of answers for problems I have, I have had to adjust some aspects of the game here and there to try and compensate for this. And this will probably continue into the end of the year since I have done that many times. And yeah, that will probably be the only issue. The lack of knowledge and shortcomings of my own will have to change and adjust characters in terms of like what they can and can't do in the game in terms of programming. Animation and modeling will be their own issues, but they can be adjusted and changed and also be done. But the programming is where I will have to actually come up with secondary, third, and multiple other contingency plans if my design idea for the code doesn't go as planned and I have to adjust it or change it to something else. And yeah, that will be probably it. So yeah, hopefully this gets at least done by the end of the year.